I'm Mrs. Wintrode, first grade teacher at Chapelwood Elementary in MSD of Wayne Township. Today's science lesson is Land Features, What is Under Our Feet with Mr. Crosslin.
Thanks for inviting me here to talk about what's under our feet. And I understand you guys have been talking about soil. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, what have you learned about soil so far?
Well, this is one of our experiments we did last week. And we learned what is in soil by looking at our experiment, boys and girls. Who can tell me what is in soil? Layers. And so we looked at this and we know soil is in layers. Very good. Yes, floating on top was our humus. Now, does anyone remember what was floating on top? If this is humus on top and it floated, what is there?
Dead animals and dead leaves, or
dead
dead
plants and dead leaves. And so we looked at it very carefully. Does anyone remember what we saw when we observed? We saw dead plants.
And
our bedrock was at the bottom. Yeah, we looked really close and we saw some bedrock and rock at the bottom. What else was in our soil?
there is what is it called?
Now, if we look here, guys, it took this about a week and a half to get so clear. And we said something, it looked like something on top.
Sand.
Yeah, we learned what was on top of our sand. So is sand in soil?
Yes.
Okay. We have any other ideas about what is in soil? Eric?
Topsoil.
Topsoil?
What do you call the soil right below the topsoil, but not in the bedrock?
Subsoil.
What is it?
Subsoil.
Subsoil. And is there any living creatures in this
No.
that you might find in, what's alive that might be living in soil? What do you think? Yes, a worm, right. And believe it or not, as your teacher told you what's coming, soon worms will be coming.
Yes,
Worms will be coming for you to study. So here's some of the things that are in soil. Great review. All of these things we've talked about. Layers, topsoil, humus, subsoil, dead plants and leaves and roots, rocks, sand, worms, bedrock. There's one more thing, Deep, that when you made that, when you made that, was it clear like that when you mixed it all up?
No, it wasn't.
Would you hand it here? Let's see.
Yeah.
What color was it when you shook it all up?
Does you remember?
What color was it?
No idea. Black.
Could we shake one up?
Yeah, we can shake one up.
Say, look, it's clear now. Watch what happens when I shake it up. What's happened is, when it was brown, all that brown stuff fell down over a week, and that was called silt. That's a big word. Everybody say silt. Silt turns into clay. Clay. Watch. There's a layer of sand and a layer of clay. So let's get the clay. Now we'd have to dry it out for it to be clay. If I shake this all up again, and all that brown stuff is silt, but it might turn into clay if it dries out. That's a great experiment. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to look, when you walk on the soil, it's hard to see what's underground. So I'm going to draw a picture of what I think's underground, but you still just have to take my word for it. But scientists sometimes dig holes to see what's there, or sometimes they use a machine to poke a big hole called a core sample. But let's see, what's up top? What do you think? What do you call this at the very top?
Grass.
That's grass, right? Grass, or maybe even a plant growing. So you got all that grass growing on top, right? You walk on that, right? But right below it, you start to see what?
Dirt.
Don't say the D word.
Mud. Soil.
Soil. And now the soil, as you guys said, the soil has things living in it. For example, it might have this crawling through it. What's that? Worms crawling down through it. It might have some little bugs in it. It might have
Dead bugs.
some dead leaves in it. So all these things used to be alive, right?
Yeah.
But they die, and then when they die, they head on down. Let's see here. Let's try this here. So now we got more soil. And I would call this layer, what would you call this layer?
Topsoil.
I like what you said. I would call this topsoil. And it's really good stuff. It's very rich. If we went outside today, here at your school, the topsoil is very rich. It's so rich that it's important that we need to save it. When they built your school right here, okay, when they built your school, they had to scrape away to get down to the next layer. What's the next layer called? Yes? Subsoil. Subsoil means below, but here's what they did. Smart people saved the topsoil. So before they built the school, bulldozers came in, scraped all the topsoil into a big pile to use it later. So they wanted to make sure they could use it later because it is so good for growing plants. So now we have the subsoil. In the subsoil, there is, what's that stuff that floats around in water when it dries out? What's it called? Clay. So you might find some clay. And then there are these things.
Bugs.
Not too many bugs.
Bedrock.
But when we get down here,
Bedrock. Bedrocks.
not bedrocks yet, but just rocks. And then we might get something like this.
Bugs.
No, not bugs. The bugs and animals stay usually up in the topsoil. Down here, this is, maybe you find this at the beach or in a river. What is it called? It's sand, okay? So you see these different layers that we got going here? And there might be more layers of clay and more layers of sand and more rocks and bigger rocks. All of this is under your feet. Now eventually we get down to a layer that Indiana is pretty famous for. Yeah, believe it or not, this layer, look here. I'm going to make it nice and thick. I made it blue. There might be some water there, but there's some cracks in it. What's this layer called?
Bedrock.
Who said that? Say it again.
Bedrock.
Bedrock. This is bedrock. Bedrock is a hard rock that's very valuable. I'm going to tell you a secret. Indiana has the best bedrock in the world.
What?
And we have buildings made from Indiana bedrock. Let's take a closer look at this. Okay, so this is some Indiana limestone quarries. Now, limestone is underground. So in parts of Indiana, what they've done is they've scraped away the soil and they've scraped away the subsoil down to the bedrock. Check out this one right here. I actually went to this one. Let me make that bigger. Let's see. This one, you can see the layers of bedrock, and they've taken big saws and cut through this. And you can watch a video called Underground Indiana where you can see where these are cut. And check it out. Isn't that cool how they cut big slabs with a giant saw? Then look at this one right here. There's the layers. The soil is way up here, subsoil, bedrock. Now, you might think that, Mr. Crosslin, well, what's so famous about Indiana bedrock? Well, I'll tell you, check it out. Look here at some of these. We take that Indiana bedrock and we make big squares out of it that look like that. And those are used to make buildings. So here's a building that's kind of famous in the whole world. It's called the Empire State Building, and it's in the city of New York. I took some kids there, and guess what? This whole building is made out of Indiana limestone. And where your teacher used to live, there is a hole in the ground where they cut out the rock, the bedrock, put it on a train, took it to New York City, and made the Empire State Building. At one time, one of the largest buildings in the world. If you ever visit New York, go there, touch it.
I saw that.
You've seen that in New York City? That, my friend, is made from Indiana bedrock. Let's take a look at one more. This is something you have seen before, or at least an image. What is this? The Washington Monument, and it is in Washington, D.C. Here's a picture.
I went there.
It took over 100 years to make. It was started back during before the Civil War, and it's made out of blocks after block after block.
Now, Mr. Crosslin, we have a student in here. Eyes here. We have a student in here that just completed a timeline about the Washington Monument.
Really?
She knows something special about the Washington Monument.
You do?
So, do you remember what's special? When we look at this really closely, what do you know about the monument? What happened? It is made out of a certain kind of rock, but what happened during the building of it? There was rain, and what else happened, Valerie? When you have your picture, if we go out there and look at your diagram that you made out of the monument, what did you draw? Yeah, your picture had, you said there was something around this. Not a rain, it was a ring. A ring. Is that what you're trying to say is a ring? A ring. And do you remember why? It
Like
stopped,
right here?
it
I see
stopped,
it.
they stopped building it. So could you explain to us, why are they different colors?
Well, since this limestone is a natural rock, this came when they were building it. They were cutting it out, and they got the rock from one place in Indiana. Then they waited a long time because this was interrupted. There was a lot of things going on in the country. They stopped building it, and you can learn more about that in history. Then when they started to build it again, the rock probably came from a different quarry or a different part, and it was not exposed as much. And so you have different colors because the bedrock comes in a little bit different colors. They didn't have enough of the same color. And recently there was some cracks, and they repaired all this. But this is a very famous Indiana bedrock. Didn't know that, did you?
Nope.
There's other things like the Washington Monument. Even if you look outside in the school, you can probably find limestone, which is bedrock, famous in Indiana. This is called the Stone Belt because it's close to the surface. This rock is also in Illinois and Canada, but it's so far deep you can't get to it. We could dig under your school right here, through the soil, through the subsoil, and find bedrock. That would be cool. It would take us a while. Did you bring a shovel?
Yeah. Nope.
Okay, so now we're back to what's underneath our feet here at Chapelwood. So there's grass, topsoil, subsoil, clay, sand, rocks, and bedrock. But you have to take my word for it. And maybe, I don't know. So this is like, if only we could get a bulldozer and dig down and look at that. But that's kind of hard to do. We could go outside, but there's a tool we could use. It looks like this. It has a handle on it,
I know what else.
and it's long like this,
It's a pickaxe.
and it's sharp, and it's hollow inside.
In nail?
And what you do is you take it,
Are you doing?
and you push it down into the ground, and here's what it'll do. Ready? I'll make it red so you can see it. So here is the top part of it,
I know.
and it will go all the way down into the ground.
Will you break?
And when you pull it out, well, let's just see what would happen. Watch this. When you pull it out, here's what you'll see. Are you ready?
That's all. Just a right.
Think what's inside of the tool. You pull that whole tool out. What is inside of the tool? Raise your hand if you have an idea. What is inside of the tool? Marcus. All the stuff under the ground. Is it what is under our feet? Is all those layers under our feet? It's not dirt. Remember, it's soil. So let's look at our different words that are left. What are some of those vocabulary words that are underneath? A quiet hand. What are those things under our feet?
Wow. Is the topsoil still there? Yeah. Is the subsoil?
Yeah.
I did not get any bedrock because that would be really hard. This tool is called a soil core sample. It is kind of hard to depend. Some soil is hard, some soil is soft. But the layers, now here's my hard question for you. Here's my hard question for you. You might want to help me with this one. Look at these layers. If this is layer A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Which layer do you think is the newest where things live? Which is the newest layer? And which is the oldest layer?
Okay, so right now I want you to put your hands down, point to your head. This is your thinking time.
What do you
so we
think?
have the top layer.
Here, G.
We have the subsoil, which is the middle layer, and then we have the A, which isn't quite the bedrock, but still is the bottom layer. So if you think the newest layer is the top, when I say show us, you're going to go like this. If you think it's the middle layer that's the newest, I want you to go like this. And if you think it's the bottom layer that's the newest, I want you to go like this. All right, so show me what you're going to do for top. If you think it's the top layer that's the newest, show me middle. Crosslin, show me. Show me bottom. All right, right now, put your hands together. Okay, ask the question again, Mr. Rock.
Which layer would be the newest layer of all these layers? Not
3,
old.
2, 1, show us. We have some different answers. The
Okay.
newest layer, London, what are you thinking? The newest layer is going to be the top layer, yes.
In fact, these things are still alive. They're so new. The grass is still alive. If this is the new layer, new
Okay, now
at
start
the top,
thinking.
this must be at the bottom, and it must be
what?
very what?
The oldest layer, yeah.
And that's a science concept that I hope you understand. These materials may have been put here a long, long, long time ago. Then more stuff piled up, and more stuff piled up, more stuff. Let me give you a hint. If I took your trash can right now, there's your trash can. It's got paper in it and all kinds of stuff in it. This morning when you had breakfast and you threw away some trash, would that trash from breakfast early this morning, would it be up on top or would it be on the bottom? It would be on the bottom, your milk cartons and stuff, because that happened in the morning, right? At lunchtime, you might have some trash from lunch, and what are you going to have at the end of the day? Afternoon, right? So that's kind of how the earth is. Old stuff at the bottom, but you know what? Why take my word for it? Why don't we make a model to see if it's true? Would you like to make a soil core sample model?
Yes.
Let's try it. Hey guys, thanks for coming over and joining me at the table. Remember last week when we talked about land features, right?
Yes.
And so you see, what is this right here? Island. And this, there's an ocean in blue. And check out that mountain with the hole in the top. What kind of mountain do you think that is?
Volcano.
That's a volcano. So this is last week. This week, though, we're going to look underneath these land features. So let me move those out of the way. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's see. If only we could look into the side of the earth like a clear glass, what would we see? Well, one of the first things we might see is what is deep, deep down at the bottom on the, we just talked about? Class? Bedrock. So let's put some bedrock. Okay, here's, go ahead, put that bedrock in there.
That's cool.
Check it out. So here is a layer of bedrock. And if you have a marker, we might label that, what's this again?
Bedrock.
Bedrock. But now the next layer, there might be a layer of clay. And she's going to, so clay. So watch, I'm going to use a piece of, and you're going to do this too. I'm going to use a piece of wax paper. And I got a piece of clay. I don't need a very big piece. I'm going to put it down here like that. See that? Let's put another piece of wax paper on top of this. That way it won't stick to it. And I'm going to take this, watch. I'm going to roll it. So look, I'm getting it flat, but it's important that I use wax paper because otherwise the clay will stick to my rolling pin. Now, I'm going to open this up. And now I have a nice flat taco? No. layer of the earth. And I'm going to put it, look, it's thin. Thin layers are good. I'm going to put it here. Now, let me ask you a question. How many layers do we have so far?
2.
2. Which is the oldest layer? Bedrock or clay?
Bedrock.
That went in first. So now I think we should put another layer. Ready?
What is that? Sand.
Part of subsoil. This is
Oh my. That's a lot.
what do you think? Check it out. Can you see it?
I don't see the clay.
It is sticking to the clay. So I see bedrock, clay, sand. I think we need another layer, don't you?
Yeah.
Let's do a brown layer.
What is it? Okay,
So
sir.
remember, what is it? Just put the what on top? The wax paper.
I know that.
And then I don't hold it by here. It's better, I think, if you hold it close and just roll it a little bit this way. Now, I would tell you in science there's no crying. So if you don't get it perfect, fine. Just don't cry. Try. Don't cry. Try. Okay? That means teachers can't cry either, okay? Okay. So now look, see how I rotated this way and that way to make it nice and round? So now I'm peeling back my wax paper. And if you don't get it right, that's okay. It's going to be your deal.
Now start thinking, boys and girls, how many layers is he going to have?
1, 2, 3. There's another layer.
4.
Now, look at that. Look at that layer. Now I think
No, it's 4.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. See it? This is some strange pink rock that came all the way from Arizona, maybe. I don't know.
It's for fishes.
I don't know.
That's for fishes.
No, this is not for fish. This is for a science model. Check it out.
I had a fish that had
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
Well, when you make a model, I'm glad you said that. This is not really the Earth. This is a model, and a model can show you some things about the Earth. So we can't see down, so I thought we might make a model. So the last thing, what is on the very top? Soil, topsoil. And so this is, don't say the D word. Soil. And I even see some pieces of stick, some nutrients, some rocks. Check it
That's
out.
very good, Derek. What was on top? Humus.
Humus. Another layer, another layer, another layer. And so you can label these layers later. There you go. But now, and we'll keep that in the room as a model. But here's what we're going to do. In just a moment, let me set this over here. You're going to work together with at your table, and you're going to make something very interesting, I think. So you're going to use a small piece of wax paper. So all of you will have a piece of wax paper, maybe bigger than this. I'm going to lay it right here. And you'll have some clay to share. Now, here are the rules. If you pick a piece of clay like this up, or a piece like this up, only use a small piece of it and put it back, because everybody's going to share the clay, right? And you're going to take your piece of wax paper. You ready? Put it down on the wax paper in the middle. Ready?
Yeah.
And since you only have one piece of wax paper, fold it over. See what I just did? Yes, yes? We have to share these. Doesn't have to be perfect. Fold it over. About like that.
Very good like that.
Open it up.
Like an Oreo.
Now, boys and girls, what could Mrs. Wintrode get out? We just studied shapes. What could Mrs. Wintrode get out for us? No. I want to quiet you. What could I get out for us to use as rollers?
You can get out a sphere.
Not a sphere. That looks like a ball. What solid shape, Derek?
Rectangle. That cylinder.
A cylinder, yeah. So could we still use our cylinders from our three-dimensional shapes?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to make 3 or 4. And look how I just make them different colors. Now, you don't have to use the cylinder. That's a great idea. You could use your thumb to make a small piece that looks like this, too. So you don't have to wait for someone. Take turns, make one, pass it on. Look how I did it with my thumb. Yes, yes? Yes, yes? Okay. And remember, just a little bit, not much. Okay. Now,
I like that green.
you'll see. Are you ready?
I like it. Very
Okay.
good, Basewood.
There's 4. And here's what we're going to do. Now we're going to construct our layers. Which one do you want to be the oldest?
The green one.
The black, okay. So I'm going to put the black down.
Blue.
Too late. Next, I think I'm going to put some, we'll have on your tray, there'll be a pile of sand. Okay? Now you do this not on your desk, on your piece of wax paper. Here comes my second layer. How many layers do I have so far? 2. Which is the oldest layer? The black. What's the newest layer right now? Sand. I'm going to now put, I think I'll put clay. Okay? Got it? Nice. Now, I'm going to put on your tray some of this special rock. Okay? But you know what? I'm going to use small ones, just the small ones. And I'm going to, how many layers do I have now? 3 layers. Actually 4. This is my 4th layer. I like the small ones. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Sorry.
Yeah, 4.
Ready? 4 layers. Now I'm going to put blue.
5 layers.
5 layers. Oops. 5 layers. Nice and flat. Stay. Okay. Next, I might put green.
Dirt.
And then finally,
Grass.
I'm going to put a few rocks. I'm going to use this. I like the small ones.
That looks like cake.
You know what? It looks like a layered cake, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Now, take a look at this. Okay, so I see the layers. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers.
Wait, what?
Black, sand, clay, pink, blue, green, black. Here is your core, your drill. You ready for your drill?
Yeah.
Check it out. This is the cool part. Ready? Here we go. This part's kind of interesting. You take this, pick one area. I'm starting to go down. Ding, 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 ding. Look how I'm spinning it. And I'm pushing and pushing and wobbling. Pushing, pushing. And when I know I've hit bedrock, guess what the bedrock is? Your desk. You'll be able to tell. I won't go any further. And I'm going to spin it around like a drill. And watch what happens. This part's so cool. You ready?
Something comes up with the frog.
When it comes out, can you see the layers? Just the same layers.
How do we get it out?
First, you do like 3. You don't worry about getting it out. So I'm going to cut it off like that. And here is my core sample. See it? See the core sample? Are the layers the same?
Yeah.
Let's make another core sample. Ready? Here we go. Ready?
Now, boys and girls, as he's doing that, if we look back on the board, boys and girls, look. As he's doing that, this is the tool you are practicing to use. So this is what the real tool looks like. And you are using this model to get your
Core
core
sample.
sample.
So there's 2 of them. I want you to do at least 3. If you pick a big rock, it might be a problem. I don't know, maybe this rock I just picked is too big. Let's see. All the way to bedrock, twist it. It might be a problem. No, not too bad. But see, each core sample is not exactly alike because the earth is not exactly alike. But you start to see a pattern. What's on the bottom of all of them? Black. Then white, then blue, and green. Now, let's try one more. After you do 3, here we go. This one's going to be interesting. Ready?
Those are right at 3. Yeah.
After you do 3, see how I'm wobbling? Now, if you don't do it just perfect, that's okay. Keep trying. Watch what I'm going to try to do. Ready? Here we go. I'm going to pull it back up. Now, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to see if I can get it out of there. It's going to be hard to do, but I'm going to cut it up like this.
That's the cool part.
First, you make 3 like that. Now I'm going to open it up. Some kids will have easy time. Some will have a hard time. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to try to get it if it'll. I'm going to see if I can roll it back out. And look, there it is. And look, the order: black, white, blue, green, and look what's right in there.
That looks like a crayon.
I hope it looks like a core sample. So a core sample that looks like that.
Like a crayon.
Hey, let me show you though. This is maybe you've seen this in Indiana. If you drive in southern Indiana, where there is, watch what I'm going to do. When you're done making your core samples, I'm going to cut this right in half.
We have to cut it in half.
when I'm done, I want to see what it looks like from the side. And from the side, can you see? Might even cut it better.
Sprinkles. Yeah. Ooh, sprinkles like
Look, you can see the layers. Look, you can see the layers just like they are. On that side of the road, on that side of the road, they match. See how the layers match? And even right here, they match. So, are you guys interested in getting started?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me show you what each group gets. Each group will get a tray like this with
Sand. Clay.
with some clay. There'll be some rocks, different layers. So we're going to have rock, sand, clay. And does one person get to use all this clay? No. You have to share. Okay, and you'll get one of these. All right, let's go back to our seats and get ready.
Okay, right now we need to remember we have our clay at our tables. You are going to pinch off your piece, put it on your wax paper, fold it over, and then you can use your roller or cylinder to make your piece flat. After you have used your roller or cylinder once, you're going to pass it around the table for other boys and girls to use that roller. Now, who remembers how many clay pieces we have to make? You show me with your fingers. In 3, 2, 1, show me. Okay, Mr. Crosslin, how many pieces were they supposed to make? 4. So very good. If you're holding up 4, you are correct. Are we ready to begin? Yes. All right, begin.
Why does this place smell like food? Let's make layers.
What did you do there? How many layers do you have?
4.
4 layers, okay. And let's see, you're stacking yours? Talk to me. What are you doing, man?
I'm doing this, and I'm doing 1 layer, and the other one's mine is so ugly. I know it's ugly.
Okay.
But
You gonna stack them all together?
not yet, and done.
All right, here we go.
A little more sand. Do a little more of this.
Okay.
Then the white top layer.
Yeah.
Then the last layer.
Wow, there's a lot of layers right there.
I know, right?
Let's leave it flat so I can take a look at it.
Huh?
Nice. Can you see all the layers? Cool. All right. I think it's time for you to drill, don't you?
Well, you don't have to drill. You have to do this.
Drill it slowly, wiggle it. Nice.
Can I keep one?
Keep it all the way down. Get to
Oh,
where you're going to stop when you get to what?
to the bottom.
Which is called what?
Bedrock.
Bedrock. Oh, you went all the way through. Pull it out. Let's see what it looks like. Show me. Let's leave it flat. Let's see. Put it down. Your first one may not be the best. That's pretty cool, though. Lay it down here so I can get a look at it.
That's ugly.
Cut it off right about there.
Good.
Put them all together. Let's take a look at them. Line them up. Wow, look at all those layers. Those are good core samples. Nice core samples. Lay them flat so we can see on the table. Nice job. And the layers are all the same, aren't they?
Yeah, look at that.
That is so cool. I like that. Good job. Good drilling job there.
Take them.
Show me. Lay it down on the table. Let's take a look at it on the table.
Your shaw's right here.
Oh, wow. Are those your right layers?
Yeah.
Those are your layers, huh? Point them out to me. Leave it flat. Leave it flat. Point the layers out. Very cool. Nice job on that. Start that drilling company. Let's see what's going on. Here we go. There's your drill. Go through the top. Drill down. Spin it a little bit. Get all the way to the bottom and then pull it out when you're done and we'll see what we have.
It didn't get the blue.
It didn't, but look what it got instead. Nice. Look at these samples. Cool. And look at your sample. Come closer. Show me. Nice. Nice samples. Did it work? Make some more samples. Make some more course. Hold on. I'll take a closer look at it. Put it on the table next to your. Lay it down flat. Nice. Lay it down flat when you see the different layers. Good work. Good work. You see all the different layers in there? Cool. Keep working.
Cut it in pieces like this. Wait a second. Now you can see the layers.
Do they match? Put them both up to me so I can see. Open them up so they match. Wow, that's like driving on a road through a canyon and seeing it,
Can I
isn't
keep
it?
this?
Sure, why not?
Can I keep this?
Yeah, why not?
Now, what's important is for you to have your core sample. The core sample is what you're going to have out while you're creating your text feature. I will pass out baggies for you to keep your layers, and so that's something that you can keep later. We're going to start cleaning up, and you're going to start using your core samples and draw that on your create text features. Our vocabulary words we're going to be using are topsoil, subsoil, what's the bottom one? Bedrock. We want to use layers. And then we also made our core soil sample, and I heard a lot of that word drill. So those are all things, when you write your summary, those are all things that you can put in your summary, and we want to use our text features, a heading, a label, captions, and boys and girls that have great work that explains our thinking today and what we learned.